gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car, and I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, shout around? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
8:04 right now. In Brooklyn, an elderly woman is in stable condition after she was shot in the arm while sitting on her walker. It happened in East Flatbush at the intersection of Brooklyn Avenue and Foster Avenue.
Well, this is the state of New York, Flatbush, New York, and you have an elderly woman, 84 years old, shot while sitting on a walker. And yes, she is a black woman indeed. So where is Black Lives Matter? Where is the Protect Black Women Brigade? Where are the Black Girl Magic advocates? Nowhere to be found. Nowhere to be found. And luckily, by the grace of God, this woman was able to survive. But if she was deleted, then we'd be having a whole different conversation. So this is very upsetting. This is very disheartening, but this is every day in the black community.
Just before 7 o'clock last night, witnesses say they saw several people running away. The victim was taken to Kings County Hospital. Police say she was not the intended target.
Althea Lawson beat cancer, but could not beat a bullet. Monday evening, she was hit by a stray bullet while sitting on her walker. This man tells Pix 11 News he and another man heard the shots and people screaming.
They shot the old lady. So when we looked down the block, there was an old lady sitting on a walker, bleeding out by herself.
That's when he and the other man took action while dodging bullets themselves.
And this is a rare occurrence where you see black men in the community stepping up and rendering aid. After all the videos that we see and all the videos that I cover, when have you ever seen a brother snap into action and swoop to the rescue of anybody, right? It's rare. So shout out to this brother. I'm sure he's a stand-up individual and he acted with courage and valiantly to save this woman's life.
The shots are still happening at this moment, so nobody wanted to run into the situation, whatever. We ran over to her aid. She was sitting there bleeding out. He took off his shirt and handed it to me and instructed me to tie it on her hands to stop the bleeding.
Lawson, a mother of 7 children, and her friends were wrapping up their normal routine, hanging out near a community center in East New York, when police say a gunman started shooting at a group of people nearby. The 84-year-old was caught in the middle, sitting helpless on her walk. Sister Enid can't find words to describe how she felt getting the call her sister had been shot.
It's like a shock. I can't explain it.
Enid said what happened to her sister is the reason why she's nervous about walking around. The family left the island of Jamaica years ago for a better life and never thought they would face this type of environment.
And you're not supposed to walk and look over your shoulder, behind and sideways. You're supposed to go on without scared, even in the train, even in the bus. You're afraid.
For now, the 88-year-old is counting her blessings, thinking, what if?
I feel sad over it, and I'm glad that she making a little progress.
Shootings have been a big concern in this community. So far this year, police say 15 people have been shot in and near East Flatbush alone. Many of them are innocent bystanders, just like Lawson.
An 84-year-old woman in the hospital tonight after being caught in the crossfire of a shooting in Brooklyn.
Yeah, very scary. This happened just before 7 last night in East Flatbush. Fox 5's Lisa Evers joins us live from that scene. Lisa, you actually spoke with the victim's sister. What'd she have to say?
Well, Bianca and Steve, the victim's sister is speaking out. We've been here in East Flatbush at Flatbush Gardens at the development here all afternoon. And not just the victim's sister, but also community leaders and residents are upset and outraged that an 84-year-old woman sitting on her walker right here enjoying a nice summer evening was shot by a stray bullet.
It's like a shock. I can't explain it.
And imagine that. This woman moves from Jamaica, one of the most dangerous countries, and it is indeed a black country. They're one of the most murderous countries in the world. And she thinks she's escaping that violence, that crime, only to come to the self-proclaimed greatest city in the world, New York City, and be shot in the street and left to die like a dog. Now, like I said, thankfully we had a bystander, a good Samaritan who came to her aid, but in any other situation, this woman would have bled out and passed away. So what are we going to do, community? That's my question. What is the black community going to do to resolve this? Are we going to turn in our criminals? Are we going to say no more? It's time to take a stand against these super gremlins on Demon Time.
But I feel sad over it.
Enid Lawson is talking about her 84-year-old younger sister, Althea Lawson. The NYPD says she was sitting on her walker outside her apartment on Brooklyn Avenue at Foster Avenue about 6:45 Monday night. Suddenly there was gunfire and she was struck in her left arm.
I'm glad that she making a little progress. It may not big, but she making a little change. I thank for God for that.
Miss Enid Lawson tells us that none of her or her sister's sons ever picked up a gun and that something must be done about the gun violence.
They send them up to school, pay money for them, and that's what they do, smoke and use the gun. Thank God I don't have one that use a gun.
Members of the Elite Learners nonprofit organization that's based in the development and part of the city's violence interrupter network believe the shooter or shooters knew they were off on Monday. Otherwise, they would have been a reassuring presence and visible deterrent like they are on other days.
And this is very, very disheartening because on the day that we're off, a lady get hurt. And this is not what a community is about.
The group also provides a host of educational, job, and housing services to those in the community to better their lives.
Community is about helping your elders, helping your youth, helping your future, and helping your past so they can lead to a better future.
Now, Miss Althea Lawson, the shooting survivor, is being treated at Kings County Hospital where she's expected to survive. So far, the NYPD tells us there have been no arrests in this case. They're asking anyone with information to call 1-800-577-TIPS. We're live in East Flatbush. I'm Lisa Evers, Fox 5 News. Bianca, back to you.
All right, Lisa, thank you for that.
Shot while sitting in her walker. A woman in her 80s becomes the city's latest victim of gun violence. That's where we start at 4 o'clock. I'm David Usher.
I'm Natalie Pascarella. That shooting happened right outside that woman's apartment. Her sister says she thinks the bullets were meant for someone else. News 4's Gabi Acevedo live in East Flatbush this afternoon with more from the woman's family. What'd they tell you, Gabi?
Natalie, David, family members told News 4 that Althea Lawson, the 84-year-old woman who was shot, is now recovering from an injury, a gunshot wound to her left forearm. This all happened, as you mentioned, Natalie, as she was sitting outside of her apartment building near a community center here in East Flatbush. Police are now searching for the shooter. A chaotic scene on an East Flatbush corner.
Just heard the gunshots, and when I came out, there was about 4, 5, 6 elderly women running, screaming, they're shooting.
Citizen app video shows the frantic moments. Police and EMS responding just before 7 last night, where an 84-year-old woman was shot in the arm at the corner of Brooklyn Avenue and Foster Avenue.
Just like get her out of there, because the shots were still going off and she's sitting there. So we kind of just was trying to like get the lady out of danger.
This man tells News 4 he helped the woman moments after a bullet tore into her arm.
She was just sitting there bleeding out, sitting in the walker by her left forearm. So one of my friends that was with me, He took off his shirt and he was instructing me to like tie it over her wound to like stop the bleeding.
The Good Samaritan stayed with Althea until an ambulance and police officers arrived on scene.
This part of her arm, so it was like right here. So we basically tied the knot and the t-shirt like right about right here.
She's sickly. She can hardly walk, you know. She have blood clot in her both legs.
Althea Lawson's older sister, Enid, tells us she's now recovering at Kings County Hospital, expected to survive. It is still unclear what led to the shooting, but witnesses say it was possibly a gunfight between two different groups of men.
This side fighting against the other side, and the other side fighting against the other.
Detectives canvassed the area and found up to 20 shell casings spread across the street, also looking for surveillance video that can help find the shooter, while neighbors are keeping Althea in their prayers.
It's happy to know that she's all right, but you know, we was here in the neighborhood just glad to know that we could help out. She's one of us.
And people in the neighborhood tell me they are concerned about gun violence spiking during the summer, but also about possible retaliation, since they say the shooting started after an altercation between two groups. Reporting live from East Flatbush, Gabriel Acevedo, News 4, New York.
All right, very difficult time out there, Gabi. Thank you.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Jenquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
An 84-year-old woman who recently beat cancer is now recovering in the hospital after getting hit by a stray bullet.
The shooting happened in East Flatbush, and CBS 2's Natalie Dudridge spoke to the woman's family and also to the people who helped her.
They shot the old lady, so as we looked up the block, we see her sitting in the walker by herself, bleeding out.
Citizen video shows a frantic scene at the corner of Brooklyn and Foster Avenues as police say an 84-year-old woman was hit by a stray bullet just before 7 p.m. Monday. This man and his friend rushed to her aid.
He took off his shirt and kind of gave it to me and told me to apply pressure and tie it on her arm to stop the bleeding. I did so, and we kept her calm.
First responders arrived and wheeled the woman into an awaiting ambulance and took her to Kings County Hospital in stable condition. Police say she suffered 2 gunshot wounds to her arm. The victim's 88-year-old sister tells us her younger sister, 84-year-old Althea Lawson, was simply sitting outside on her walker at the corner talking to friends as she does every day.
And sitting outside in the black community is a cardinal sin. I mean, did you guys not realize? Have y'all not been watching my channel? You cannot, I repeat, you cannot in 2024 go into a black neighborhood, a black community, sit out and enjoy a glass of lemonade on the streets. You will be shot, you will be robbed, you will be mugged. Period. End of discussion. Now, can we find solutions to these problems? Yeah, but I think the solutions are pretty simple. Lock these super gremlins on demon time all the way up. The community has to turn them in. There has to be group acknowledgement, then group accountability. And that's how it will go. If we can't do that, then there will be no solutions.
Somebody call and say she got shot. I was nervous. I wonder where she get the shot.
The two sisters, originally from Jamaica, live together at this apartment building. We reached Lawson's daughter by phone.
She's holding on, she's talking, she's doing much better. She had other conditions because she was already a cancer survivor, but I'm so grateful that she's alive.
She says her mother always tries to mentor the youth in the neighborhood.
If you are tend to be a bad person, she would stop and say, young man, don't do that, you know. That's not right. Too many guns. Too many guns.
Her older sister so relieved she survived.
I don't want her to leave me. I prefer I go leave her.
As for the suspect or suspects, police have not yet given a description. They're still,
of course,
canvassing the area for surveillance video. In East Flatbush, Brooklyn, Natalie Dudridge, CBS 2 News.
Elderly woman speaking out from her hospital bed just a day after she was randomly shot in the arm.
She says she was meeting up with friends when the gunfire rang out. CBS 2's Naveen Dhaliwal has the story.
Considering what she went through, Althea Lawson is in good spirits.
What Jesus said me, and you know, He is a good God.
Her left hand in pain whenever she moves it.
My arm is bothering me.
From her hospital bed, the 84-year-old who recently survived cancer is thankful to be alive after being randomly shot.
And this is extremely upsetting. What if this was your grandma? What if this was your family? How does this make sense that this is able to go on? We know that if these people are caught, these woke leftist district attorneys, attorney generals, prosecutors will let these people walk. And that's the problem. That's a huge problem. But we continue to see people just overlook the carnage that's going on in the black community. And obviously, if you speak up about it like I do, then you are called all types of names. You are condemned. They're more worried about my delivery, which I don't curse in my videos, but they're worried about my delivery over the suspects. They care more about what I'm saying than what these super gremlins are doing in the streets.
Bleeding every now and then.
It was Monday and a frantic scene at the corner of Brooklyn and Foster Avenues as police say a gunfight left Lawson hit twice by stray bullets while she was sitting on her walker just before 7 p.m. She says she was wrapping up a visit with friends.
When I turned to go to my house, I just hear this big explosion. Bye.
Lawson stunned and injured.
I just found my hand here bleeding. I couldn't move.
This man and his friend rushed to help her.
He took off his shirt and kind of gave it to me and told me to apply pressure and tie it on her arm to stop the bleeding. I did so, and we kept her calm.
As Lawson was being rushed to the hospital, her older sister Eden's phone rang.
I was nervous because I wonder where she get this shot.
Relieved to know Lawson is okay and counting her blessings.
Thank God for His mercy. I am still here among the living.
Police sources say a total of 14 shots were fired between two shooters believed to be members of opposing gangs. So far, no one has been arrested. In East Flatbush, Naveen Dhaliwal, CBS 2 News.
Althea Lawson beat cancer, but could not beat a bullet. Monday evening, she was hit by a stray bullet while sitting on her walker. This man tells Pix 11 News he and another man heard the shots and people screaming.
They shot the old lady. So when we looked down the block, there was an old lady sitting on a walker, bleeding out by herself.
That's when he and the other man took action while dodging bullets themselves.
The shots are still happening at this moment, so nobody wanted to run into the situation, whatever. We ran over to her aide. She was sitting there bleeding out. He took off his shirt and handed it to me and instructed me to tie it on her hands to stop the bleeding.
Lawson, a mother of 7 children, and her friends were wrapping up their normal routine, hanging out near a community center in East New York, when police say a gunman started shooting at a group of people nearby. The 84-year-old was caught in the middle, sitting helpless on her walk. Sister Enid can't find words to describe how she felt getting the call.
How are you feeling?
Oh, I feel little better than yesterday.
From her Brooklyn hospital bed, Althea Lawson tells me she's been through hell and back. First beating stage 4 cancer, and now dodging death in her own neighborhood.
I heard pie. And by the time I looked, I saw blood running down in my hand. And I said, my God.
This man and another neighbor ducking the barrage of gunfire to wrap her arm with the shirt off their back.
We ran over to her aide. She was sitting there bleeding out. He took off his shirt and handed it to me and instructed me to tie it on her hands.
The temporary tourniquet worked. Miss Lawson suffered 2 bullet wounds, likely at the hands of gang members who missed their target, according to detectives.
They're running up on their intended targets, shooting, and then continue running after them.
And don't these guys always miss their targets? This stuff, it just becomes so tiresome.
Gang violence from the same crew, sources say, has been terrorizing the neighborhood and leaving innocent victims like Lawson behind.
All the time you hear shots fired. when you're in your house.
She credits a higher power with letting her live another day.
And thank God for Jesus. He rescued me and he saved me.
Gang violence